I think it comes down to trust. As a stem cell bank, we're very similar to other types of banks. Our clients really rely on us. They trust us to protect something that's very important to them. That's why we have extremely sophisticated security systems. We have redundant processes throughout the entire system. We have contingency plans for natural disaster. We take seriously the protection of our clients' samples. But it goes a little further than that. When a client sends us a specimen, they're doing it not so that we can just put it in a freezer. They're doing it because they expect to one day use the sample, perhaps to treat their child, maybe even save their lives. And so we have to treat every specimen that comes in the door as though it's for our own child, that it could be a sample used to save someone's life. As a result, we try to operate at the highest level of quality possible. We're regulated by the FDA. We strive consistently to be up to current good manufacturing practice, or CGMP. We believe that that's critical because we're taking our clients' samples that will be used therapeutically, into our hands, into our custody. I believe our clients can trust us with that. Well, they're critical. Before we launched the service, we did a tremendous amount of market research. We surveyed and interviewed thousands of families. And one of the questions we always asked was, where do you think is the best place for you to learn about this technology? Overwhelmingly, consistently, it was at their dentist or oral surgeon, their dental clinician. And that's why when we launched the service, we did it at a major national dental conference, is because we are trying to embrace the importance of working closely with dentists by providing them the tools to make it easy for them to talk to their patients about this. A key word we often hear is no use of chairside time. We know dentists and oral surgeons are very, very busy, and bringing up something that can result in a lot of questions and requires a lot of expertise is difficult while they're trying to keep up with their practice in their day-to-day. So what we do is we spend most of our marketing resources trying to find ways to make it easy for the dental community to talk to their patients, make this information available to them so the patients can learn more. And what we always learn is that every family is different. Everyone looks at what we do differently, whether they're dealing with a medical condition in their family like diabetes, or whether they're really engaged and believe in the future of regenerative medicine, or whether they have an adopted child and they don't have any genetic material. These are all reasons why families want to learn more. And when a dentist knows that there are stem cells in their patient's teeth, and they don't give them that information, they're essentially making the choice for the patient that they won't be able to bank their stem cells. That's why it's so important that we work together with dentists. I bet if you asked every employee of Provia Laboratories why they're here, they would say it's because of our clients. The stories we hear, we're constantly talking to clients, whether it's our clinical coordinators, we always make sure someone from the management team goes to conferences because we need to hear from our clients constantly. I remember this great story. It was when we first got started. We went to this conference. It was a type 1 diabetes conference for families. Parents and their children would come to learn about the latest research going on to treat type 1 diabetes. And we had an exhibiting booth, and we were talking to parents about banking stem cells from teeth. And a mom came over to me and just started hugging me out of the blue. And I asked her, why am I so lucky to be getting this kind of gracious hug? And she said, because her child, 17-year-old, was having her last 2 wisdom teeth removed in 2 weeks. And when her child was born, she didn't know about cord blood banking and didn't choose to do it, obviously, and regretted every day since her child was diagnosed with type 1 not having done it. And if we weren't at that conference, if we didn't make the information available to her, she would have lost another chance to preserve these invaluable cells. And so she was so grateful. We deal with that daily. Families just, for whatever reason, whether they missed their chance or whether they banked the cord blood but did it because they know how important these cells are, we get to hear stories of this. And for someone who's come from the healthcare industry, most of us have, where we've been working with hospitals or clinicians or pharmaceutical companies, it's really an incredible, motivating experience to work directly with families. They mean everything. Well, I think it's in three parts. I think first and foremost is to treat every client sample as if it was from our own children. I think the second is to make stem cell banking available to everyone possible. And that comes in a few flavors, whether it's making sure the information is available to as many people, waking up every day and doing everything we can to make sure as many people as possible know that this technology exists. And I think the other part of it is to make sure that it's accessible. So being creative with how we, what our fees are, and being flexible to make it affordable by as many people as possible. I think that's part of our mission. And I think the third is to do everything we can to stimulate more activity and more research so that sooner as soon as possible, these cells can be used to treat patients and to save lives. And everything we can do, whether that's working closely with researchers and showing them how we handle and process cells, or making extra cells available so that we can study them and look at how to improve processing and so forth, everything we can to push the science forward. We do those three things. We treat our client cells properly, we make it available to everybody, and we stimulate active research. I think we're going to be hugely successful, and the families that trust in us will benefit.